What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another late night, another Western, a black and white Western this time. This one is an original picture. I have seen the remake, 3:10 to Yuma, starring Christian Bale, a remake of the same name. I really enjoyed the score for that film, really enjoyed the whole premise, but yeah, interested to get into the original picture. And yeah, without any further delay, we'll get into this film because, Captain, we are Ego.
And there ain't a soul that you know there when the 3:10 to Yuma whistles its sad refrain.
For some odd reason, I'm thinking about the Hateful Eight and the opening with the wide shot of the coach coming through the snow with Ennio Morricone's score playing throughout it. This one, we have a great original song with a wide shot and a coach, approaching the camera. Great shot.
Not much else I can do.
Don't anybody move.
If you move, I'll kill him.
Wow. Collateral damage. Expendable, member of the band.
We'll need those horses. Why? So you don't ride to the marshal. Get off. All right, boys, get off.
Not much he can do. I mean, he did recognize this member as being Ben Wade, so there is a reputation that precedes his name.
They killed the driver.
See, one of their fellows is on top, taking off these bags. And suddenly the driver grabs and used for a shield.
Well, do they care? No, sir. They shoot right through him.
It was Ben Wade and his gang.
Ben Wade.
It's strange to see how unconcerned the parents are that the kids actually saw someone get shot, but I would assume it's part of, the Western, well, not culture, but zeitgeist or environment that you would eventually see somebody get shot at a young age.
Maybe it'll rain.
What if you went into town and borrowed the money?
You know, I hate to go begging other people for help.
Borrowing isn't begging. It could save us.
They're in a matter of desperation, and, to hear that, she understood that he was crossed, given that's life and how he explained it, the boys are going to see what the boys are going to see. Quite a tracking shot. It's a dangerous place to be where you're the only one working there.
This place, does it keep your boss busy?
No, he does other things, too.
Like what other things?
Well, he has like a little bank and he loans money to ranchers.
What does he do? Does he keep the money here?
See, he doesn't have any money anymore. What with the drought, nobody pays back.
That's too bad.
Miss, if my outfit's asking you too many questions, well, you just say so, huh?
She does not stop her rounds. She just keeps, she goes back and forth. And interesting how, they're inquiring, for their next hit or, to gain an advantage on this small township.
Yeah, I sang. First time I ever had in my life.
Well, what made you quit?
Well, I got to coughing too much. Doctor said I should breathe dry air.
Oh, well, you sure come to the right place here.
You came to the right place where there's a major drought and everybody is taking loans from her boss. Well, certainly humanizing Ben Wade and creating a sympathetic character really quickly by this somewhat love affair.
One of them's still there. I just seen him go back into the saloon.
Alex, you been drinking this morning or not?
Marshal, you know I never touch a drop until the stroke of noon.
If there's a man there, why don't we catch him?
Until the stroke of noon. Probably that would be his nap time.
What happened to you?
Just finishing my drink.
There's a fella coming down the road.
That look. Well, they probably recognize each other.
There's two more for you. What for? For your boys. I used their time too, didn't I? Now, if you don't mind, there's my cattle. You owe me two more for tiring out my cattle.
Ben Wade has no problem paying. If he can only do that 100 times, he'll have his $200.
Now, what good is all that? You know, he's only gonna come back with the others, and I'll go free. You'll get shot. Mister, we're gonna get you out of town so fast you won't touch ground. Come on. Over here.
Ben Wade, he looks mighty confident in his outfit's ability to, release him from prison. But now he's in the mix. The father's in the mix of all of this.
And if they don't figure that, then they'll figure we'll take him over to contention, put him on the 310 to Yuma.
Sure they will. Bound to.
Alex, will you let me finish? Then you can agree.
Sure will.
Now, the minute the coach
Alex
comes,
is just happy to be in on the action, not asleep.
Well, I guess I better be getting back home.
How's the missus?
She's fine, thanks.
Good. How the boys?
Fine. They're fine.
I need 2 volunteers.
Well, Ben Wade heard that. So let's assume he's going to use that as information against him.
You have your 2 men. Alex Potter, Dan Evans.
Well, Alex is a character, and Evans is in it for exactly the amount that he needs. So this is probably the start of the second act, I would say. Yeah, where things seem to be going along, but there's going to be some obstacles coming along their way.
Tell you what I'll do. I'll send you something. Would you like pearls? Well, I'll send you some pearls, huh? Then maybe you won't forget.
I won't forget.
Regardless of his moral character, whether he's a villain, whether he's a good guy, she will remember.
Take this out to Mr. Potter.
Okay. If Ben Wade has supper with them, it's going to be an interesting fellowship, shall we say, an interesting gathering.
My mother always says grace. She comes from San Francisco.
Mark, eat your stew.
Her father was a sea captain, and he owned his own ship.
Matthew,
2 ships.
your supper. Go ahead now.
Yes, and if he was here, he'd shoot you dead.
Dad's a skunk.
All right, boys, that's enough. Let's...
My pa wants to. He can shoot you, too.
He can shoot anything.
He can shoot a cougar, run like
all right,
lightning
now,
a
quiet,
mile
both
away.
of you.
What advertisers on behalf of the family.
Aren't you supposed to say grace with bad people?
Grace is for everybody, dear.
Well, then why don't you say it?
Very good point. Very good point. I mean, the fact that they're already categorizing him and calling him a bad person, it sets an interesting, dynamic within the table.
I knew a girl there, and she was the daughter of a sea captain, too. And she had the greenest eyes. I used to look real deep into her eyes, and they'd just change colors, get all fiery and green, all the colors of the sea. It's funny how a woman's eyes will change color at nighttime.
How does he do this? How is he doing this? He's winning the trust of the females by his charming attitude and by talking about the color of their eyes. It's Ben Wade.
Why did you have to sit there listening to him like that for?
What do you mean?
You know what I mean, all big-eyed and listening to him.
Something's going moving down there.
Well, to what Ben Wade said, you know, he doesn't mind spending every last cent on a woman that deserves it, or that is, you know, that she, yeah, basically who deserves it and should, you know, be pampered. And I would guess these women, they work extremely hard, and you know, they appreciate the change of attention.
The boys are so proud.
What?
Proud of you. Their own father capturing Ben Wade. Did you see them looking at you at supper?
No, all I saw was Wade.
And I'm proud too.
Well, I'm obliged to you for your hospitality, ma'am. I really appreciate it. Your husband, too. I hope I can send him back to you, all right?
Oh, what a dagger of a line. I hope I can send him back to you when he has lawfully captured you. And what a thing to be proud of, both in terms of the kids and in terms of the wife. You know, they're proud that they captured this bad man, Ben Wade.
Well, you think anything will happen to Pa?
Sure. He'll come back with $200. $200 is a lot.
Not if he doesn't come back, it isn't.
Well, there you go. They just outlined the two possible endings: whether he will come back, or whether it'll be a happy story or a sad ending.
You better cover downstairs. Alex will come to you if he sees anything.
Mr. Evans, you give me great confidence.
It's not 3:10 yet.
It's not through to, but well, that's another thing with Mr. Evans. I think the remake with Christian Bale got a lot more into his own backstory as to why he's such a good shot. Why I would suppose, you know, he's able to, you know, take on this task beyond the need for the money.
Look, Wade, I don't have anything against you personally. You know, I'm just doing this for the money. I know. But I want you to understand one thing. If you start across this 8 feet between us, I'm gonna pull both triggers at once.
Then it becomes very personal.
Do you mind if I open that window? Think you can reach it from where you're sitting? No. It's too far. Hello, then. Want me to give you a hand there? Sit back. Go ahead.
He's just trying. He's trying him to see it. Well, I'm assuming he's also getting his pressure points. See where his pressure points are.
I usually leave a stick around here. You can prop it open, Dan. It's, I usually stand it in a corner somewhere. See it? Right over there. Feel better now? I had to try you out. I didn't think you'd shoot. You know I will the next time.
You should give him another $2 more for making him nervous for this unnecessary, needful eye on him. But what I really enjoyed, even when I'm watching the remake, was this relationship that formed between Wade and Evans, somewhat of a friend-enemy.
How much they paying you? $200. $200? That's a lot of money. How'd you like to double that and save yourself a lot of time, a lot of trouble? How you reckon I'm gonna do that? You just drop that gun. You let me walk out of here with $400 to me.
Of course he does. Of course. Well, when he robbed the stagecoach, Butterfield's coach, in the very beginning of the film, it was rather peaceful, except there was one casualty.
He used to drive the Butterfield coach. Maybe you remember him. Yeah, seems to me I do. Kind of hot-headed fellow, wasn't he? Not reasonable. Like you. I sure am, friend. I'm so reasonable, I'm gonna let you walk right out of here. The only thing is, it'll be just before 3:10, and I'll be right behind you with a shotgun.
Well, to his point, I mean, he's so sure that it will happen, that it'll all go according to plan. 400 seems almost too good to be true. And, I mean, how could you live with that? Even after your wife saying, we're proud that you captured Ben Wade.
I think I know what's bothering you. And I wouldn't dream of suggesting that you let a murderer walk out of here free. But you see, Bill Moons drew first. Yeah, it makes it self-defense, doesn't it? I mean, I don't go around just shooting people down. I mean, that isn't nice,
Way to plant a seed, saying that that guy, Bill Moons, shot first, and so he was doing it out of self-defense. Way to plop a seed of doubt. Not a seed of doubt, but a seed of, okay, maybe if I let this guy go, it would not entirely corrupt my morals.
Did you ever think of taking on a partner? No, I'll work alone. Oh, a silent partner with money. Say, 7,000. Now, what do you think my price is? Just think, Dan, with $7,000, you can do everything you've ever dreamed of doing.
Oh, for sure he can. For sure. I mean, 7,000 with a silent partner. But what will it cost him in the long run? It will probably buy him immunity from ever, doing anything against Ben Wade, betraying his trust.
I was saying, Mr. Butterfield, things come to a pretty pass when the boss can't bother to go to a man's funeral.
Really, Mr. Moons, I can explain.
Especially, sir, when the aforesaid laborer was trying to protect the aforesaid employer in a line of duty.
God rest his soul.
And as for your soul, Mr. Butterfield, I feel you'll have need to cool it in a hotter place than this.
If I can do anything to help you decide, you let me know, huh, Dan?
Oh boy, the boiling point is getting to a boiling point, both downstairs and upstairs. The heat is getting to people.
Of course, it would be a lot easier for both of us if we could get this thing settled, You shut up. You mean we're not together, huh? No, we're not even close. Well, at about 5 minutes to 3, Dan, we're going to be a lot closer than you think.
What crisp, razor sharp dialogue. It's so good. His main weapon is not even a revolver. It's his words. It's his charm. It's his smile. His power to convince.
So you're going to Yuma on a 310, huh? Well, I'm going to save everybody the trouble of a long ride. Isn't that fair, Wade?
You pull that trigger, you'll hang for murder.
You safe, Putter. I'll take care of you two.
Hand me that gun, Bob.
I'm warning you. Get out of the way.
Hand me that gun, Bob, or I'll push you right through that wall.
Yeah, he has a sense of humor after all this commotion that he personally has created.
You see, when one of us gets caught, we figure out all the different places where they might take us. And then we send one man ahead to each of those places to wait and watch. I wouldn't worry too much, though. He might not be back in time.
He won't. He can't possibly.
Is he telling the truth? Is he bluffing? Will they make it to the 310? Is there enough time? The fact that it's all based on time right now. It's the tension comes from how much time they have left.
Fair fight, that's a man's duty. But this way, this is a big outfit, Wade's gang. Tough outfit. Another time, but my mother, I gotta think of her. One son just buried.
Go on, get out.
Well, he really thought about his mother when he was ready to execute Ben Wade, and he was told to his face, you would hang for this.
I like a girl singing. Hey, Dan, you like a girl singing? I don't know, it kind of keeps a man from working too hard. Puts his mind at rest. Of course, she doesn't have to be singing.
Well, there's no evidence that this is didactic or non-didactic. like whether it's really a woman singing. But it's interesting that we have the backstory of Amy being a singer, him liking her, and the fact that he's getting on the 310 to Yuma. So it works.
You know, when I was having supper with you last night, Dan, I was just sitting there. I was thinking that maybe someday I'd like to have a wife. Yeah. Must be real nice.
Oh, what is he doing? I mean, he's painting the picture of what value he has right now and how easily he could probably lose it.
I tell you one thing, though, Dan, I'd treat her a whole lot better than you do. I'd feed her better. I'd get her pretty dresses she'd be real happy wearing. And I wouldn't make her work so hard, Dan. You know, I bet she was a real beautiful girl before she met you.
I told you before to shut up. You say just one more word and I'll cut you down right now.
The whole San Francisco angle.
Everybody getting off the streets. Well, I guess they want to get in out of the heat, huh, Dan?
Get in out of the heat. Yeah. He's playing with his mind. This is going to be an epic battle. You know, walking behind him all the way to the 310 to Yuma train. Although I know how how it ends with the remake, but let's see how this one ends.
Charlie, go buy the boys a drink. We'll be down soon.
Are you all right?
I'm all right.
What if you don't come down? He could shoot you and say you tried to make a break.
Kill him, they'll kill us all first.
Ben, you let him know what'll happen if we hear a gun go off.
He knows.
The confidence. He reeks with confidence. You know, he still thinks he's going to get off scot-free.
All you gotta do is drop that gun on the bed and let me walk out this door. Wait, listen. What are you squeezing the watch for? Are you sure that no one would ever know? Squeezing that watch ain't gonna stop time.
Is the inner conflict in Evans. He's the inner conflict. He's good. Ben Wade is good.
Please, I'm begging you. Look, nobody wants to walk out on you. This whole thing happened in Bisbee. Why should you bring your troubles to contention?
I mean, we've got families. Every man here is a family man.
Dan's a family man, too. I'm a family man. In a way.
Which proves that, begs the point why, people of contention, they're valuing their life over the idea of $200. So that's the interesting thing inside Dan Evans is he needs the $200, but he's taking a huge risk.
Die in the roof!
Shot him right in the back. What a way for Alex to go out.
Hey, Charlie, you've got one more shot. Make it good.
Tell him we'll use it on the way to the station.
He tells him you have one more shot. So, I mean, indirectly, Dan, you're not going to use that weapon on me.
Alex is dead. Dan, the odds are changing now, aren't they? Now it's 1 against 7.
Do you hear me? You have no obligation.
You better listen to what he said. Huh? You better...
To some degree, I never thought about this, but, Ben Wade is almost like his inner monologue, his inner dialogue between do it and don't do it. The realistic side of this entire situation, Don't do it. Value your life. Value your family.
Hey, did you hear that thunder? I think maybe
Dan,
it's
if you're
gonna
doing
rain.
this for me.
You know, if it rains, that'll change everything.
It was something I said yesterday.
It'll be
Please
a
forgive
wonder everything green again.
Dan, please don't be stubborn.
Yeah, wait a minute.
I didn't even figure that. The thunderstorm. That's one way of saying, you could go back right now. Your wife is here. Let's just go back. Forget the 200.
Oh, Dan, I don't want a hero. I want you.
Honest to God, if I didn't have to do it, I wouldn't. But I heard Alex scream.
The town drunk gave his life because he believed that people should be able to live in decency and peace together. You think I can do less?
No, please don't go through with it.
You know, I never have been able to give you very much.
That short period of time he was with Ben Wade, I mean, how could you ever, walk away from this knowing that, that slick salesman of a Ben Wade, who is very threatening, is out there looming.
It's time, Wade.
The fact that Alice is here, and remembering the remake, there is a part of respect that Ben Wade, passes on to Mr. Evans.
Tell him one more shot and I'll cut you in two.
I told you had just one more shot. Next time you better make it good.
Yeah, better make it good. This guy, Ben Wade. This guy. He does not stop. He keeps trying to push his buttons.
Worked all right, didn't it? Oh, it worked real good. Wait. One of my men up there on the roof.
So part of what he's telling him is the truth. Part of what he could tell him is, part deception, if he's on his side or not.
There's still time to get out of this, Dan. There's still time.
Right. He uses the kettle as cover. Right. If I'm not mistaken, that's also what the remake did.
Why the stop?
Do me a favor. Run before they chop you down.
Move.
Let's say towards the end of this, Ben Wade, grows a conscience, and on his conscience, he cannot see Dan Evans get shot by his outfit when he's just doing a job that he took to do to provide for his family. It's a very righteous cause, and he develops a conscience, shall we say, a moral conscience.
Drop, Ben! Drop, Ben! Drop! Come on, Ben! I'll kill him!
Well, what an interesting, scenario.
Why did you do it, Ben? I don't like owing anybody any favors. You saved my life back at the hotel. It's all right. I've broken out of Yuma before.
Well, my job's finished when I get you there.
I've broken out of Yuma before. Well, he did save his life from the Moon Brother.
So when you take the train, call the 310 to Yuma and leave the things you love. You leave with a sigh.
Oh, and it begins to rain. Well, if I'm not mistaken, if my memory serves me correct, the remake, Christian Bale actually gets shot.
When the 310 to Yuma whistles its sad refrain, take that train, take that train.
What a ending. The end. The 310 to Yuma. Take that train. Thoughts? Well, this would be one of the only pictures, I would say. It's very rare to be in this category where the original and the remake are fantastic. They're great, but they're they're different in their own respects, but quite similar. Almost all the story beats, the main story beats, are all the same. Fantastic tension within the film. They chose the right actor for Ben Wade. I think it was great recasting to add Christian Bale. Christian Bale looks like a rancher when he needs to. I mean, he has that sort of method acting shtick that he well, not a shtick, but his technique that he does, and he looks like a blue collar rancher. So in this film, Dan Evans is a little bit more, shall we say, seasoned in his age, but still 2 kids. He has his sized property land with cattle, and he needs it to rain. It was great revisiting this plot, but with the original setting, with an original song as well. But the star of the movie is Ben Wade, and his whole angle, the whole angle that he takes to get him out. It's very anticlimactic as a villain, but even in terms of action, there's not really a ton of action for a western action film, but it's this dynamic between the two, which I believe the remake spends a little bit more time on, the dynamic between having to get this money, having to stay alive to remain for for your family, and your duty as a guy, as a man, as it was mentioned. I think Butterfield mentioned that every guy here is considered a deputy. So there's a certain line of responsibility, whether you're in contention, whether you're in Bixby, that you take on. And he took it on himself. Number one, I will deliver this guy to the 310 to Yuma. Number two, I would say no to more of a greedy offer, because to his defense, he, more than the 200, he's protecting himself from any future dealings with Ben Wade, or he did his job, and what more if he earned the respect of Ben Wade? Because if he does break out of Yuma, and he decides to visit this family again in contention, if he decides to go to the Evans Ranch, what would be the exchange between the two of them? Let's say if that ever happened. Let's say if his outfit did break him out of Yuma, what is their interaction between the two? The fact that they actually treated him with grace at the supper table, that was an interesting exchange. And not that he can take what his children said to heart, that my dad could kill you, and so on and so forth. It's just it's something I would expect Wade to return as a favor from one man to another, not to harm his family if he, let's say, ever made it out. But it's an interesting film. It's a great film. So much great tension, with dialogue and situational dialogue. So it was really fun. If you guys have any comments, if there was anything I missed, do write it. I read it. But yeah, until the next picture, I don't know what it is, but looking forward to it. And with that being said, it's time to take a nap. Take care, guys. What's up, you cinephiles? Thank you very much for making it to the very end. Me and Big Willie don't take that for granted. We really appreciate you. Now, if you would like to show your support to us, you know what you can do up here. You can smash that button, really just smash it. And if you would like to check out some more content, they're all curated by days up over here and playlists. So, you know what? We hope you're having a great day. Don't crumble, and just continue to smile and be a good bastion of cinema.